What makes a piece of media disturbing?
I am not going away.
That was the question I was trying to answer when looking around YouTube trying to find a new piece of internet horror to analyze for a video. Greylock seemed appealing, but I didn't necessarily find it scary or disturbing enough. I didn't want to cover The Painter either, due to the fact that every other YouTuber who cares about horror media has covered that series in its entirety. Then, I stumbled across a little known channel, Archive 1983. The series only has 6 videos, all pretty short, with the longest one being only 2.5 minutes. With the last video coming out nearly 3 years ago, and no one has really ever made a video going in depth on the series, I thought it would give me the perfect chance to make a deep dive and try to piece together the lore of this channel. And what I discovered gave me way more than I bargained for. Grab some snacks and a drink, unless you got a weak stomach. You might vomit just by watching. I've wasted enough of your time. It's time to remember who we were and dive right into the twisted story of Archive 1983. The first video in the series is simply titled Them. The video starts out by displaying each animatronic in a certain light. Freddy has a kid next to him, and then that same kid is found dead inside the animatronic. Bonnie begins to freak out, and then it cuts to the Chica animatronic, sitting down and slumped over with a hand and a face peeking out around the neck area. Foxy begins to perform in front of 2 dead children, while someone stands in the doorway. The screen cuts to black before we get Freddy coming closer and closer to our screen with the captions. "Let me out, Michael. Let me out." We then cut to Springtrap staring back at us. The closed captions state, "I was a serpent disguised as a dove." He opens his mouth to reveal a decaying corpse inside of the suit, rotten and twisted, with no eyes or flesh left on the face. There's quite a bit to unpack here in this first video. The suspicious figure in the doorway during Foxy's performance needs to be William Afton from the games. If you don't know your FNaF lore, let me fill you in a little bit. William Afton was the creator of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and designed the animatronics along with his business partner, Henry Emily. I'll go more into William's story and how it relates to this series, but for now, keep his name in mind. We also get another name from this video, Michael. This is in reference to Michael Afton, one of the 3 children in the Afton family. Judging by the context of the closed captions, I think it's safe to assume that this is another child, possibly his brother, pleading with Michael to let him out of somewhere. This also ties in with the game Five Nights at Freddy's 4, where we see someone in a Foxy mask scaring the crying child. This is believed to be Michael Afton and his brother. This would mean that, well, I don't want to spoil anything just yet. Let's just say these two aren't exactly fond of one another. The next video uploaded is titled Smile. I killed them. Here's a confession from Springtrap, stating that he was the one responsible for the death of the children in the previous video. Seems to me like this series is following the basic story of the first 3 FNaF games. This statement is shortly followed up with an exchange between 2 people. The closed captions read, "See? He's sleeping. Shh. Be very quiet. He left this for you." For me? All yours. Now stand here real quick. I want to take a picture. No, let go. It hurts. Bonnie, stop. My arm. It hurts. This piece of dialogue is very interesting to me. In the entirety of researching this project and coming to understand the FNaF lore, I have never seen any mention of any of the animatronics attacking the children in any of the games, aside from Security Breach. Yet in this instance, Bonnie is attacking the child's arm. It hasn't been stated if the animatronics are possessed yet, or if someone has compromised them or reprogrammed them. I want you to keep this detail in mind. The dialogue at the end, during Chica's segment, we see this exchange with another 2 people. "I found your dog. He's back here. Shh. We don't want to excite him. Where is he? Bonnie? No, he's not here." I believe that this exchange is that between a girl named Susie and William Afton. If we are looking at the games for context, the child who possessed Chica in the game was a girl, well, named Susie. She lost her dog and was trying to find it within the Freddy Fazbear location. William found this out and used this information to lead Susie to the back room, saying that her dog was there. He then killed her and stuffed her body into Chica. And then the phrase, "I needed you." Needed you for what? What do you need a dead kid for? The scene at the end with Baby hides even more dialogue. "You are not a good man. You didn't save us. You made it worse. This is your fault." We know that this is one of the children talking to us, but then again, who are we? Who are these children referring to when they say, "You didn't save us"? Is it William? Or someone else? Let's move on. For you just watching this tape, it may seem like a basic, scary short, but if we have closed captions on, we are given a little bit more information. I don't have much time to talk. So many entities trapped in one place. I will expose his actions and set us free. This is a cry for help, for freedom, not just on my behalf, but for all of the children. Burn him in the suit to set us free. It's not your fault, Gabriel. This seemingly small bit of text gives us answers to questions we've had since the first tape. Who is watching these tapes? Just by reading this message, it is safe to assume that Michael Afton is the one these tapes are meant for. In the game lore, he is one that we play as in FNaF 1 through 3. At least that's what's commonly believed. At the end of FNaF 3, we defeat Springtrap by burning the building to the ground. Considering this, burn him and the suit seems like a direct call to Michael from whoever this person is. Speaking of which, who the hell is this person speaking to Michael? I believe that this is the puppet speaking to Michael. Puppet was the one that gave the children the ability to take over the suits and possess them. Set us free refers to the children's goal of escaping their animatronic prisons. The puppet wants Michael to help them by killing Springtrap, if we are going off of the game lore for context. The next upload is titled Resurrection. The description reads, "I will put you back together." We don't know what that means just yet, but let's watch the video first. Let's dissect this upload piece by piece. First of all, the 4 kids are shown being killed or already stuffed inside the suits. Something that is prevalent throughout the entire series, as I'm sure you've noticed by now. The visuals and sound design are what make this series so special. No other FNaF VHS series is able to make me squirm in my chair as much as this one did. Just the image of a little girl sticking out of Chica's neck literally made me not able to fall asleep for a couple of nights. No other series has the bravery to show in such grotesque detail what William did to these children. You have to respect it in a way, even if you're deeply disturbed and uncomfortable. The child who was stuffed in Bonnie is slumped over against a wall, and there's an image that pops up for a few frames, but is really hard to make out and doesn't seem to show anything of value to us. We then cut to a child missing half of its head, while the animatronics look over and begin performing. A skull and hand appears in front of an empty endo head, and the face of Springtrap appears behind it. The dialogue is a little bit hard to make out, but I can just barely hear one word. Susie. This confirms the theory that the girl inside Chica was indeed Susie. What's interesting to note is that the description was oddly specific. I looked through the FNaF lore once again and found the line from FNaF 4's ending. "I will put you back together." This person in reference is what the FNaF community is called the crying child, or the other Afton child. The crying child was shoved into the Fredbear animatronic's mouth by his older brother and his friends, aka Michael Afton. This led to an event called the Bite of 83. Now I want you to look at the name of this channel. See anything suspicious? Now consider the image of the child with half of their head gone. I'm starting to see a pattern here. Now, what does all of this have to do with resurrection? Well, let's look at what we have so far. I want you to think back to the smile upload and the dialogue at the end. "You are not a good man. You didn't save us. You made it worse." Then look at the images in Resurrection. There's a chopped off head and arm next to an empty endo head. William is harvesting children to create something with their body parts. I feel sick just reading that sentence out loud. But we are in way too deep. We have to find the last bits of secrets hidden in these last 2 tapes. The next upload, Hide and Seek, just so happens to be the shortest. I'm not going to dwell on this one too long, as it doesn't have any crazy lore or insane revelations, just confirming what we assumed. The child in the Bonnie mask was the one that was stuffed inside of Bonnie. What's interesting about this upload, though, is that it shows withered Bonnie, when none of the other uploads have shown instances of the withered animatronics being used or possessed. Just something I thought was worth mentioning. Let's move on to the final upload. The final video is titled The Wrongly Punished. The description is a little hard to read, but it says, "God help these souls. They are not in control and full of rage. Look into yourself to forgive the souls that have put harm on the living. Damn. Makes you feel horrible. It really does put into perspective how these children feel, knowing they will never be able to see their families again. It's heartbreaking. I don't mean to pause in the middle of the action, but I feel this is worth mentioning. I viewed this series 3 separate times. Once blind, with no prior knowledge, another with closed captions turned on, and a third going frame by frame and analyzing every little detail. I personally love when internet horror uses tools provided by the platform to hide secrets. That's why series like The Walton Files and The Mandela Catalog are some of my favorite pieces of media that I've viewed in the past decade. It makes you feel like you're uncovering a mystery all on your own, leading you to make theories and gives you questions to answer. I love every aspect of it. Back to the analysis though. His father stitched us together to try and save him. I want to just pause right here. This piece of dialogue right here confirms that William Afton was trying to bring back his son, the one that was killed in the bite of 83. Through his own twisted logic, he thought using other kids to rebuild his son in some sort of sick, twisted skin animatronic would be a great idea. That explains the ending of the resurrection tape and why there were tools on the table. Let's continue. We then get a jumble of words. Hard to talk. Fox, run, cut loose, head. The video ends with the puppet being tied up and the phrase, "We're sorry, Fritz. Fritz was hurt bad. Smile no more. I will save you." And that is the end of the final tape. A few things before we go into the final analysis. At the end of the final video, the puppet is being tied down with the phrase, "I will save you." Is this meant to show that this is David's brother talking, or the puppet? And why the hell is David stuck under his house in the Fredbear suit? This is the story I have. William had 2 children in this universe, Michael and David. David was the youngest in the family, Michael was the oldest, and William was of course the father. David was bitten by the yellow bear and lost half of his head, dying in the process. William couldn't handle the death of his child and began to neglect Michael. William thought he would be able to bring back David and build a new son in his image. He lured 5 children to the back room. Some came with him, looking for their missing dog. Another came wanting to take a picture. One was killed and stuffed in a bonnie while looking for their parents. He will now be forced to wander the pizza seeking for his family, but he'll never find them. The final one was killed in an unknown way, but I think that is best left up to interpretation. After killing these children, William stole some of their body parts, mutilating their children, cutting off their arms, legs, and even cutting off a child's head. He brought all the parts back to his dead son, now stuffed inside the golden bear, and tried to put him back together again. He fails. He creates the confession tape to try and atone for his sins. The spirits of the children do not forgive him. Michael will find these tapes created by his father and the spirits, except the spirits want him to help. Free their souls by killing his father. Burn him in the soup. Fritz and Gabriel apologize for killing so many innocent people in their final tape. The series ends with a hopeful message that Michael can burn his father in the soup and end the nightmare once and for all. Wow. That's all I can really say about the series. Initially, I was only invested in the nightmare fuel visuals, but as I was researching this series, it really made me think about the FNaF lore and just how dark and twisted it truly is. I think this series perfectly encapsulates the horror that Five Nights at Freddy's tries to tell. There is no happy ending. There's no justice, just like the kids say. It's unfair and evil. But that is what makes this story so engaging. Subscribe to Archive 1983, as they have just recently announced that they will be uploading content again very, very soon. But that is all for me. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did creating it. Comment down below if you have any other series you would like to see me do a deep dive on. Subscribe if you like this kind of content. Sleep well tonight. Well, sleep as well as you can. And I'll see you in the next one.